Hello and welcome to Entrepreneur Pitstop, where we stop in, take a break from that arduous race to success, and we get filled up with some tips, tricks, and strategies for succeeding at the steps that it takes to achieve the goals that we look for and strive for. My name's Dean Donardi. I'm your host with Entrepreneur Pitstop, and today my guest is Simon Etchells, and he is an entrepreneur here in Turku, Finland, southwest Finland. I'm sure his business reaches beyond Turku, but we'll find out shortly. So welcome, Simon.
Thank you very much, Dean. Pleasure to be here, of course.
Excellent. So let's just here at Entrepreneur Pitstop, it's basically, entrepreneurs are always racing toward either their next project or racing through, the projects that they have with so many, turns and bends and things of navigating the track that they are, trying to win that race on, so to speak. Once in a while we have to take a break. You have to change the tires, you have to refuel, wipe your visor and your helmet, whatever it is. And, it's especially important for entrepreneurs to take breath, breathe, refocus, get a visual of what's going on. And that's what we like to do here at Entrepreneur Pitstop. And we look at the, tips, tricks, strategies, things that work, things that don't work. And with things that don't work, or maybe there's problems, we like not to close the show unless we have a solution, at least something, no matter how small it is, that's a tangible, manageable process or step that we can take in order to get over, get around, work with in some fashion some of those obstacles that we come across. So as we get going here, Simon, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? When did you come to Finland? Maybe why? I don't know. When did you start your business?
It's a long story. We've only got about half an hour, so I'll try and compress it down. But basically, born and raised in Wales, fast forward many years, came to Finland with Nokia, of course, in 2002. So when I first came, the question always was Nokia or a woman. Every time. It pretty quickly became both. So very happily married with a Finnish wife and 2 Finnish children. So was with Nokia for a good 8-9 years, and then we know 2010 things didn't go so well for Nokia. So decided to go back to the UK. So I was there for 10 years, and I've been doing various senior marketing roles with companies like Nokia and Microsoft and all of those kind of things. But in 2020, we had the lovely COVID, and just before that, we had Brexit. So that's when we went right back to Finland. We're not doing this anymore. I won't swear on your podcast, but anyway. So we came back 2020. We've been here 5 years, and essentially, I run my own business development and marketing consultancy firm. And what I do, I essentially call it pre-marketing. So this is working with companies who want to grow, as I'm sure every company does, but perhaps isn't sure of the how, what, where, when. And so I help essentially small to medium-sized companies really get their footing and look for where they want to go. And that's not just in Finland, that's internationally. And at some point, hopefully today, we'll talk about Brand Finland, which is my big passion. But anyway, so that's the last years in a minute or two.
All right, excellent. So it kind of almost sounds a little bit like my journey, because I came from the States and then I came here and then I was going back because they were already here and my wife didn't want to go back to America. But yeah, so it's a pretty wild trip, and I gotta stay being an expat myself. It's so many questions come up, so many confusing, like what do I do? How do I do? If it's not working here and there, where do you have your a better shot or chance at it, or that or whatever it is, you know, and everybody felt COVID. Not everybody felt that Bredex,
Yeah.
not
Well,
every
Brexit.
Bre Europeans felt it, but like for my side of it, Americans didn't feel it as much as
No.
Europeans, but the British felt it the most. So you kinda got it from you got it from both ends.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry to
it was
say.
coming all over the place, you know. And that was it was basically in 2020 we came over for a summer to see family in Nokia, and we had such a lovely time, and it refreshed our love for Finland. It was that element of calm, you know,
Right,
in an otherwise crazy world. So that was
right.
why we thought, yeah, we'll come back here.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah,
It's funny that you said we got refreshed. Now your wife is Finnish, correct?
she is. Yes,
So it's funny
she
because
is.
my wife was in the States for like 15 something years, and when we came here, she got refreshed too. And
Yeah.
I didn't think like, how do you get refreshed back into your own culture? But it's a thing.
Oh, it
But
is a thing.
it's a thing, and I didn't think it was a thing. I mean, it's a funny thing, you know,
Yeah.
because
Well, I think what.
a
Sorry, go
lot
on.
of
You.
Finns that leave have a hard time coming back to Finland, actually. So it's
Yeah.
funny that you say
Yeah.
that.
It's well, maybe because we've got the perspective of somewhere other than Finland. You know, um, when you live abroad, and then you come to Finland, maybe because you're not Finnish, you don't have that background of maybe a harder life or jaded. You know, you're always jaded by your home country. I mean, it's just human nature, you know. But I think because on balance, Finland is such a great country on balance.
Okay.
Um, and in the 10 years we were away, you know, the UK just went to hell, and
Right.
Finland really, really progressed and became a stronger, more powerful,
Sure, it
better
became more
country.
recognized. It kinda raised a little bit of a flag in a good way, they kind of they found a they came back from Nokia, I like to say.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah, that's true.
they kinda were making a new representation of themselves in Europe, and they kinda came back on the map in a new or different way. But
Mm.
so so there's a few things here. You mentioned, okay, so you're in marketing. All right,
Yeah, what
that's your primary
yeah.
background. So I have several years in marketing myself, so I'm familiar with it, and I like it. It's a fun path to take. But you mentioned something that I find interesting. You mentioned pre-marketing.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between pre-marketing and marketing from your perspective or your application of it?
Yeah, for me, it's the continuum, because quite often marketing is seen as a function, as like, well, finance, we have HR, and we have marketing. But for me, marketing must take into account the whole spectrum of your business. And that is from, okay, what are we doing as a business? Are we growing? New customers, new product lines, new financial routes, whatever that might be, quite often, that's done. It's great. Now we'll pass that on to marketing to do it. And perhaps maybe that's more so in Finland because of the kind of engineering side of things that we'll concretize, then productize, we'll hand it over. So for me, pre-marketing is like, let's think of everything in the round before we go to market. It's a come to market planning, I guess. Um, but it's asking the questions of the business owners and stakeholders, questions they know the answers to, but haven't potentially yet formulated those about where we're going. What are you about as a company? What do you want to say about yourself as a company? So that's really where I mean pre-marketing.
So in a way, it's just better get ready. I mean, what you're really talking from what I hear is that it's nothing special about the marketing. but it's the information from the rest of the departments that helps the marketing do their marketing better. So it's like business development. It's
It
essentially,
is.
where
It's
is the business going? What are they doing? How are they going to get there? And
yeah,
then, having a better understanding about the totality, the holistic operation of the business. And so it's really like, you almost essentially, you have to have your marketing director in all of the meetings of all the other departments, because they're the ones that should be collecting, writing down, penciling all the information with, and figuring out, okay, so the business is going in this direction. This is what they have going on. And then they have this information for that. And then they go to then they take all that compiled information, go to marketing, go to their own department, and develop a marketing campaign based on all of that.
absolutely. But it
So in a way,
needs to be, it's a little bit more than that. So this whole idea, every business would say they're customer centric, obviously. But are they listening to their customers? You're talking about a conversation there from the business out, how you described it there, which is great. But marketing, yes, they should be in all the meetings, but they should be in many of the sales meetings, in the engineering meetings, in those meetings, so they feed back this way to say, okay, the company's going in that direction, but the market's going in that direction. So we need to move and pivot. So that's really where is that famous saying by the guy who, one of the founders of HP, that marketing is too important to be left to marketing people. And that's true. That,
so
any communications needs to be
right,
a two-way conversation.
right. So my understanding of the pre-marketing is, yes, marketing is bigger than the marketing department. I've always believed that. I've always believed that sales is not really sales. Marketing is sales. And, sales is really the closer. You know,
Mm,
they do the closing. Um, but marketing is really is what drives the business, and all the other departments are what are supporting marketing.
mm,
Essentially, because, well, the engineering, they have to build the product or service. You have all these different departments doing what they do in the background, so that marketing can go out there to the public and, give what they need to in order to support, or in order to build the business. Now,
mm,
any leads that come from that go to sales, and the sales are hopefully good enough to close whatever marketing does.
mm.
So, um, so it's kind of funny though. I guess it's kind of like, does the horse come before the cart, or the cart before the horse, in a way, because, you know, does marketing have to know what all the other departments are doing, or do all the other departments have to know how to present to marketing? It's almost a little bit of both, but then I think companies like to isolate their departments, right? People know,
Mm.
this. Well, I'm paying an engineer does not need to know about marketing. An engineer is an engineer. A sales is a sales, is R&D is R&D, whatever. All each department, finance does not need to know about engineering. You know, so it's almost what you're saying is almost like a single profession isn't a single profession anymore. If a company really wants to thrive, they have to
Mm.
have some inkling, some understanding.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a change recently in today's, in the last decade or two. I think
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
just the way it should be. I mean, if we extend the horse and cart to water metaphor ridiculously, maybe engineering and build the horse, business development will find the horse, marketing lead the horse, and sales help it drink. And then
Right,
the
right,
finance
yeah.
team
Yeah, 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 yeah.
work out how expensive that journey was to get across the field to get to the water. So, it's that kind of thing. And um, I think the one thing that I often find is that marketing is very much pigeonholed, as in, oh, marketing, you do that. What color is the logo? Should we,
Right.
what are we going to say on
The
LinkedIn? You know,
design, the color, the font,
yeah,
it's
it's
all
the executional.
right.
That's very important. But
But it's not the
engineers.
heart of it. It's not marketing.
No, 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 it's the
Right.
heart of it. Hey, engineers,
Yeah.
what what color? If you were to say this widget, ideally, how would you want that to be shown to you as an engineer? What would you want to be told to you that it is good for? And
Right.
it's this dialogue, it's this continual understanding. Everyone has some knowledge of marketing. It's that a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. I have a little bit of engineering knowledge, tiny, but there's no way you're going to ask me to design anything whatsoever. That
Right.
would just be ridiculous. But I can have a sensible conversation with an engineer of what they're trying to achieve and how they're going to do it, et cetera, et
Right.
cetera. So,
Well,
um,
I think interesting though, that is an important aspect that you mentioned because that actually drives home the value proposition.
yeah, absolutely.
And the value proposition is essential for marketing because that
Well,
gives
and
them, right? That gives them the ammunition to manipulate the design, the message, if you want to
mm,
say. That gives
mm,
them the power if they know the all the different angles that the value proposition can have. That
mm,
gives marketing so many different ways to market or sell a
mm,
product.
mm.
So I think that is like one of the key things to support what you're saying is that why marketing needs to understand these different departments and a little bit maybe the other way also, but more so that marketing I think is the one that needs to have the greater understanding of all the different divisions and departments in the company more so than them needing to know about marketing.
Yeah,
But
no, absolutely. And it comes down to that old adage about, two ears, two eyes, one mouth, use them
right,
proportionately. Um, and so the other, you talk about the value proposition, and, we are in danger as marketing people of talking marketing BS all the time and acronyms and what have you. And so for me, the USPs, the unique sales propositions, or whatever you want to call those, really is vital to any company. It doesn't matter, unless you can correct me, in whatever business you are, as long as you're not the only one doing it, which I don't know any business in the entire world where there's only one of you doing it, you have to say, why are you unique? Why should I come to you instead of the guys
yeah.
in Tampere or Stockholm or London
Right,
or
no matter how
whatever it might
small it
be?
is, no matter what little, it doesn't matter. Something's gotta be
It
different
doesn't
about
matter.
it. Right.
Something's got to be different. And this is where I want to, because I'm going to get this in there, even if you don't want me to. No, this is my big passion about Brand Finland. And,
I was
I
gonna
could go
ask
on
you that
about it
next
for
anyway.
hours and hours. Yeah, good. Perfect segue. Love that. Um,
I want that to be a separate conversation. So if you just bear with me
fine.
for like 30 seconds,
I will.
I just wanna do a
All
quick
right.
commercial, all right?
I got the timer on now.
You can time me. Don't worry, we got plenty of time. I I just want to give a shout out to support entrepreneurship in every way that we can. I have some products and services out there. Some of it goes to support entrepreneurship. Some of it goes to NGOs. And there's a book called Pitcher Size, and it's a book on pitching and presenting. It's a communications book more than it is anything else. And it talks about your presence and it talks about um, bringing the audience in, whether you're on audio or whether you're on a stage or whether you're doing funding or whether you're looking for team members, no matter what type of pitching you're doing. And pitcher size, working out the perfect pitch, is about pitching with presence, professionalism, and pizzazz. Check it out. It's on Amazon Germany, or you could go to the website nasunlimited.com. It's available there too in PDF format. Um, and thank you very much for tuning in to Entrepreneur Pitstop, where we stop in to refuel along the journey of success. Thank you. So we're back here with Simon Etchells, and we were just about to get into this conversation, a quick conversation about this concept that he has about Brand Finland. So now I want to know what this is and how you see it. This is your passion,
Yeah, it is absolutely. And, it's not like some unique concept that I've come up with that I'm going to win some awards for. But living in Finland, as long as I have, and you too, you get to know Finns, you get to know Finland. And it takes a long time, and understandably so. So really what I've been doing, or just it's been distilling over the years. So look, Finland has been growing in global awareness now for a decade or so. There's many great reasons. You've got the politicians like Stubb. He's there next to Trump. You've got Sanna Marin. She was in, yeah, we don't need to, I'm not going to give any opinions. I'm just giving like
Um,
factual information here. No, we don't want to be banned in any way. You've had Sanna Marin was on the Daily Show in the States last week. Crazy. But then you've also got Finland's nature, the happiest country in the world.
so
I always have to say, look,
the
Finns
power
are
of
wonderful.
branding. But it's the power of
It
branding.
is the
Finland
power of
has been
branding.
doing a great job of branding
The country. You've got nature, you've got NATO that joined Finland's army, and because of the population going through army training, all of these things are extremely positive uh, external views of Finland. But what I also do is think about the Finns themselves. So, there's lots of kind of jokes about shyness and they don't say much and all that sort of thing. But if you translate that into business values, they are trustworthy. They respect your time. They respect your space. They will get things done. So not theoretically, Finns really are some of the nicest, best people to do business with in the world. They're trustworthy, honest, reliable, all these things. And so what I'm doing is saying to Finnish companies now, look, think about this uniqueness of your product, your service, your offering, but add the Finnishness onto that. So it could be engineering. We're Finns. We engineer the hell out of everything. We're accountants. You can trust us. We're accurate. We know everything. We're designer. I mean, look at the designers that you've got. You've got the Maramekos. You've got, Fiskars. All of these powerful brands show designed in Finland. So there's many, many great elements to Finland and Finnish people that you can use to leverage your product, your service, your offering around the world. And it is something that I used to apologize for saying, but I don't anymore because every Finn agrees. Finns can't market. Now, I'm changing that narrative. That's
All right,
hurling
wait.
further, I think is the saying.
All right, I got to stop you for a second because two things. One, I have to applaud you for your positive spin on something that has been so overwhelmingly frustrating for me as a business person in Finland and working with the Finnish culture. So I tend to be the glass half full guy, try to find the positive. I don't, if I see a problem, I acknowledge it as a problem. I try to find a solution. I don't like to wallow or hold on to the negative or bad perspective of it. However, it's really hard when it's always knocking at your door. So for me, some of those qualities and attributes of the Finnish culture and the personality and the mindset have been huge roadblocks in building business here. So it was actually, as much as that is reality, it's nice to acknowledge the reality of the different perspective that you just put the spin on.
Well, and
How
it's not
that if they
spin.
are quiet, if they are this or they are reserved, it is that maybe they do respect your time. So that's a
Yeah.
great, that's a nice way to re-see it. Okay.
I think it's important.
I think it's important too. I agree.
And not for us expats.
No. I
Yes,
think for
definitely.
everybody.
It's for Finns as well.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying
For
they're
Finn,
not proud.
yeah, because now here comes the marketing. Now they can reposition themselves.
Absolutely.
They can see themselves in, and you can still be humble and do it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Whereas
Like they feel like from the information that I get and what I've always seen in her is like, they don't want to do that because they feel like they're being egotistical. Well, no, confidence is not ego. It depends on how you use it. and you can use confidence, in a humbling way by acknowledging a true trait. So if you do it that way, oh my God, I believe the Finns could be extremely powerful. Now, whether or not they
Oh,
take
yeah.
the lead and do something with that, that's a whole nother story. You know,
Well,
because now it
maybe
comes
that's
into
my
the thing. Now it comes into what you were saying before, marketing. They're horrible at it. I mean, let's call a spade, right? They are. They're bad. They'll acknowledge it. They'll say, yes,
they
we are
do.
bad at marketing, but they won't do anything about it. They
Yes, they
they are
will.
so apprehensive.
That's where I'm changing. That's where I'm trying, in my own little tiny way. Maybe I could have a show on YLE about this. And I love Finnish sayings. So if there's any Finns listening, hopefully they'll like this one. Don't have rabbits in your trousers about this. And I don't know if you know that one, Dean, but
I've heard
that
it
one's about
before.
don't be afraid. Do
Yeah.
not be afraid. There are many, many fantastic qualities about Finland and Finns. Go out there, be proud, use it. Not everyone can be an in-your-face guy from New Jersey. Let's say if we knew anyone like that. Um, you know,
I'm in your face guy. I didn't think I was that, aggressive.
I wasn't saying that was you. I was just plucking somewhere in the
Oh,
States
you meant Jersey,
randomly.
England. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Yes, no,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
sure.
One
Right.
of the
Tip
Channel
my
Islands
hat
there.
to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna say a major cultural thing for me
Right.
was this joining NATO before Sweden. Because I know Finns
That
have
was
always
huge.
been,
Yeah,
oh,
right. The Swedes
Sweden.
went first. The
No,
Swedes did this for right. Well,
yeah,
now the Finns have the one. We did it
yeah,
first. Right.
we did it first. So anyway,
I
sorry,
gotta
Dean,
say,
you were saying.
usually I like to find something that's wrong with the system or find some problems or obstacles in entrepreneurship or business development or whatever. But you know what? I think it's really nice because we did it organically. The problem is Finns don't market. They also don't like to see themselves as too, you know, they don't like to brag, right? But you put such a nice spin on owning a quality and being able to talk about it and still be humble about it, but yet, be confident. So,
Oh,
we don't need to go there. We already did it. We did it organically. I think that was wonderful. Um, but as we start to wind down the show, um, you know, what I want to ask you because I don't think we got to it. What's the name of your company and how can people reach you?
yeah. So thank you. It's Ominta Communications, Ominta. And just check out my website on my LinkedIn, Simon Etchells, Etchells. So yeah, just give me a call, and as you can tell, I will just talk at them for hours about this. So just give me a call, email me, and we can have a great chat about all of this and more.
Nice. And then this will be aired on LinkedIn, YouTube, and my podcast channels on Apple Podcast and also Spotify. And the information regarding Simon Etchells will be there as well. Simon, thank you. It was a wonderful chat. Always enjoy just good conversation. I mean, something fun, lighthearted, and getting there organically without like a list of questions and who did what and
Mm.
how and why is always a nicer way of doing it, I feel. And I want to thank you to coming on board here at Entrepreneur Pitstop, where we like to slide in and take a break and get some tips, tricks, and strategies for entrepreneurship, business development, and problem solving. Our way to success and crossing that finish line. So, Simon, thank you very much. And I'm your host, Dean Donardi, for Entrepreneur Pitstop. Thank you.
Thank you.